Today I want to talk about 5 uncomfortable truths that I can guarantee you have definitely changed and shaped my life. Obviously, some of these are going to be positive, some of these are going to be negative, but they've all helped me grow as a person. So, welcome back to the channel, guys. Good to put out another video. We are here posting weekly at the moment. Let's kick off straight into these 5 things today. And first one is, it's possible to have the things you want in life, but you can't have everything that you want in life. Now, I think it's important that you set big goals and aim to achieve some big expectations. And I really do encourage people to aim for the top. Like, you've got to realize that you can actually achieve anything you set your mind to in life. But, of course, there has to be a but. Everything you chase in life is going to come with a trade-off. When I hit my late 20s, I was set on bursting into a higher paying career. I'd done some jobs, kind of hummed and hawed and did like the hard labour jobs and the factory jobs, and then I wanted to chase more. So I upskilled and I did the things that I needed to do, and I can tell you now that I have achieved this, but it's come at a cost. And currently that cost is generally I'm working 6 days a week in a very high stress environment. And the trade-off to this is that I have less family time and less time for relaxation, camping, and the other things that I'd like to do with my wife and child. Now, of course, I understand, and my wife and child understand, that this isn't going to be forever. And we've got a plan with where we are currently with stock investing, and we're paying the mortgage off decades quicker than the average person would. But whether your goal is owning a supercar, you're going to realise that you don't have the time to drive it due to having to work so much to upkeep it, or maybe you want to marry like an absolute stunner of a supermodel. But then you realise the superficialness of that woman and the crippling insecurities within yourself and within that woman. So yeah, everything is going to come with a trade-off. Number 2 is that whether you like it or not, life-altering events are just around the corner. Now, I don't want to go here and be dwelling on past experiences, but I can perfectly recall probably at least 5 or so life-altering experiences. Sometimes these are good, like when I was younger, the taxation department had made an error through like a course I'd paid off using a government loan. And from that error, they decided to refund me the full $10,000 that I'd paid them over several years. While this doesn't seem like a significant amount of money to me now, at the time, this helped me immensely prepare for some upcoming financial emergencies like cars and doctor's bills. And yeah, like at the time, that was definitely life-altering for me. But be warned, this can definitely go the opposite way. I still remember it was early in the morning. I was sipping a cup of coffee in the unit we were living in at the time, and I got a devastating phone call that one of my closest friends had made that irreversible decision to go ahead and unalive oneself. Now, of course, I've since moved on from most of the grief and the feelings of loss from this occasion, but deep down there's still that bit of sadness there that seems to touch me every now and then, and I can definitely say that, that's one of the main things that changed my outlook on life, and it really does make me appreciate the people that are around me. I'm not saying I'm perfect, and I'm still not 100% sure on how to deal with the emotional highs and lows on life, but it might interest you to look into the hedonic treadmill and do a little bit of research on stoicism to help, bring yourself the mental fortitude to deal with life. Third thing on this list, and this is one of my favourite truths. None of us are getting out of here alive. There's an old saying that I'm pretty sure it was by Confucius, that a man has 2 lives. The second one starts when he realises he has just one. My take on this has always been just to not be concerned with what other people think of you or what you're doing in life. I always try not to put too much attention into what others are doing with their life either. If I see a person that's more successful than me, I don't let this eat me up inside, because I don't know the stress, the debts, the relationship dramas, the health problems that come with their life. So I find just, sit back and be content with your own life, and try to remember that you only live with the consequences and the benefits of your own decisions. No one else has to. So yeah, don't get too hung up in what other people think of you, and don't go worrying about what other people are doing. Focus it on yourself, If you guys are getting anything out of this video, please click that like and subscribe button down there. It doesn't cost you a thing and it really helps me grow the channel. And hey, if you're feeling extra generous, I've got a link there if you'd like to drop me even $1 to help me buy a cup of coffee. And as always, to my viewers that have donated, thank you very much. It is appreciated. Bonus tip for you guys: everything has a skill and an art, including your current job. Regardless of if you're doing the dishes, laying bricks, or flying a jumbo jet. Everything has an element of skill in which you can learn to do things more efficiently and better. I encourage you, even if you're not where you want to be in life right now, find ways to be the best at what you do. Even if you're just stocking shelves, working in a warehouse or fast food, find ways to challenge yourself and be better at what you do. And tip number 4 here, well, not even tip, but just another uncomfortable truth, is that failure will teach you more than success. Now, for the most part, I don't claim to be a successful stock picker. I'd have to say around 80% of my investments are broad market funds and dividend funds. But I'd like to tell you a story. I once worked for a company and we were involved in commercial cropping research for farming. Now, a few of us in this company had been looking at investing, and we got together and we talked. There was 2 or 3 of us, and we said, oh, what are we going to invest in? And we put our brains together and we invested in a company called Sunrise. Now, don't take any of this as investing advice, because you're about to hear that at the time I pitched in about $5,000 into this investment, and the shares were worth like maybe $2.90 a piece. After like 2 years of this stock, it was doing nothing. It'd go up by 10 cents, down by 10 cents, and I was like, I've had enough of this. It's not going to do anything. And I sold it for around what I bought it for. Now, yeah, $2.90 a piece. This company now trades for about $16 a share and has a fairly decent dividend. This simple failure has taught me patience, and I've since bought, held, and sold several companies for a good profit just from being patient. So failure often teaches more than success. My 5th and last point is being bored will be a total game changer. Now, whether it comes to creativity, like you're trying to do YouTube, or you're just trying to sort out a problem, something you need to resolve in your own life, or be a better person, putting the phone down and sitting in a room for 10 to 15 minutes a day, it just seems to have some wild effect on lives and on your life. Anytime I'm out of an idea for a video, I literally just sit down and think and start jotting down ideas. Or I might use the 10 minutes I've got to just reflect on how my week's been and where I can improve. I am strongly of the opinion that not enough people spend enough time being bored in their life. Alright, so that wraps it up for this one today, guys. I hope these 5 truths help you in your own personal growth and development, and I'll see you guys in the next video.